G'day folks, Connor here from CW's Tech Reviews, back with another video, and today we're looking at the camera on the Moto G7. So hit the like button and the subscribe button and let's get stuck into my video. Let's go! Now guys, this is the camera review for the Moto G7. I will be reviewing the whole phone, the battery, the software, gaming, all that stuff. So definitely hang around if you want to see more videos on the Moto G7. But right now, it's the camera. Let's do it. Moto G7. Pretty budget phone and you get a lot of bang for your buck. Now the first thing I'm going to cover is the interface. It's a pretty stock standard interface. You've got your standard auto mode, and then if you swipe left you've got your different modes you can use, and if you swipe right you've got your video. Along the top you've got your flash, HDR+, timer, those sorts of things. So it's fairly intuitive and fairly easy to figure out what you're doing. Now I do have to be honest, once you swipe left and you get into your different modes, there's some gimmicks in there, but we'll get further into those in a minute. Now for me, most importantly, one of the things I look at with a phone camera is the shutter speed. And that's because it sets the tone right from the start. If you've got a slow shutter and you're waiting for processing and all that sort of jazz, you're gonna be frustrated pretty quickly. And there's nothing worse than going to take a photo, hitting the shutter and waiting for it to focus and find what it's trying to take a photo of, and then takes a photo. So for me, that's important. And the Moto G7 isn't too bad. There's a few times where I'll press the shutter and it takes a second maybe to fire. However, most of the time it's pretty accurate and pretty fast. Now I'm gonna get the bad out of the way to start with. And the first thing I just wanna cover off is low light. Ugh, what are we doing here? I mean, if the Pixel 3a is releasing like the best camera you can get for that price, then why are these ones so bad? I mean, in all these $300 to $500 to $600 phones, the cameras in low light are just garbage, and you wouldn't really want to be taking them to a party or somewhere like that to take good photos. Now, this isn't a dig at Motorola. This is a dig to your mid to low range cameras. But if you're looking at this price range, it's probably on par with what you're getting for the rest of the market at that $399 price range in Australia. Now, if we look at the features, most of these are gimmicks. Now I'm going to swipe to the left here and you can see you've got portrait mode, which isn't too bad. And you can see some photos here where portrait mode, it's just, you know, edge detection and that sort of thing's not real flash. In good lighting, it does the trick. You got cutout mode. Oh, what a disaster. I mean, they should just leave it off. You shouldn't put something that bad in a camera app, so that's definitely a gimmick. Spot color didn't really work for me either. I mean, here's a photo. I was trying to take a spot color of a can of Coke, which is a pretty distinct bright red color, but it kept sort of mixing that red in with the table as well, and I found it a real struggle to use. So again, it's a gimmick and I haven't tried to use it since then. Cinematograph was okay, bit of fun, you know, you might take a video or a few photos and share it with your friends on WhatsApp or something, but not really much else. Panorama, not too bad. I thought it worked okay, and you just need a steady hand and you can get an okay image. As you can see here, panorama works okay. But dynamic range often lets it down, but I'll get into that soon. So now I want to talk about picture quality. And I've already said that in low light, it's not the best. And here you can see a picture of a camera that I took that's in low light, bit of daylight shining in through. You can see what you're looking at, and it's not a bad image, but it's not the best. And so low light, it does struggle. I mean, here's a food shop that was in low light as well. That didn't work out too bad, but I did have a lot of indoor light. Outdoor, this is where dynamic range struggled. So you can see here, this is a photo of some flowers with a skyscraper behind it. And the flowers look really good and the colors were quite accurate. However, it's a little bit over sharpened. But behind that, you've got the skyscraper, and then the sky's pretty much blown out. You can't really make out any detail in the sky. And I found that was pretty consistent through all of the photos. Here's a selfie mode, me and my daughter out having dinner, and as you can see, it's not too bad of a selfie image, but when you do zoom in, you can really see that everything's been smoothed over and it looks pretty blurry, and it's not the best image. So fine for taking a quick snap and sharing it with your friends on social media, but it's not gonna win you any awards. And you've got to consider that. What are you using the camera for? Is it going to make do, or do you really want a good quality image? For me, I like having a really good quality image, so I do struggle with some of the photos that I get, but some of you will love it. I think you'll be fine with it. And look, as I said earlier, dynamic range struggles here. And I did find that the pictures tended to favor the sort of green hue. So again, something to consider. Now I've seen a lot of reviews where this wasn't the case, but it certainly was the case for me. And I do think that the pictures are over sharpened in a lot of situations. It sort of went too far one way or the other. So with the selfies, it would smooth everything over, sort of put that beautification mode on. And then with some of the landscapes and outdoor shots where there was a lot of light, it just seemed a bit over sharpened and a little bit digital. But in good light, I found some of the images looked really, really good, and I was incredibly happy with them. And I think you will be too. I mean, the price of this phone suggests really, really bad images, but you actually get some really, really good images in good light. Now let's jump outside and check out the video quality. All right, guys, here we go. This is the front-facing camera of the Moto G7. You can see the blowing out and then refocusing and adjusting. So the dynamic range does really struggle. All right, this one is full HD 30 frames per second. So I'm just going to swing around. You can see everything's really bright. It's like 10 o'clock in the morning. Beautiful day. Image looks pretty good. Just going to move quickly. Change some colors. There's Tish. Hey Tish. Hey. Rabbits. Hey. Hey rabbits. Doing some artwork. Here's 60 frames per second, so you won't see too much difference. Just a quick one. Shot of the flowers there. Here's the kids doing some art. Some colours. It looks good. It's not a bad image, but this is full on bright light. 1080p, 60 frames per second, low light. Not too bad. A little bit mushy. Down the hallway, backwards. Stabilisation works in 1080p, but not in 4K. So you might see a difference there. So just quickly, just wanted to do an update. The 4K video on this is horrendous. I wouldn't recommend you get this phone if you do need 4K video. As you can see, it's all artifacty and just jittery, and it's pretty garbage. In 1080p 30 frames per second, probably not too much different to the 60 frames per second, but here it is. Again, stabilization only works in 1080p, not in 4K. Tell me what you think. That's the video. Indoors, outdoors, 4K, 1080p. Didn't do the 720p because that's like last century. Anyway, let's go back to the studio. Now, if I look at the pros, I'm looking at the price. You get a really good little phone here with a great little camera for the price. And I know I sounded a bit harsh earlier, but I do think you get a good little package here. And it is quite easy to use. Swipe right for your video, left for your gimmicks, too easy. The shutter's fairly quick, and in good lighting, you get a really good picture. So that for me are the pros. Now for the cons, in low light, it's garbage, really frustrating. I struggled to enjoy using it in low light. And the gimmicks, I just think if they took those gimmicks away and got rid of them, we'd all be much happier. I think they just distract from the good points of the camera app. So all in all, if this is in your budget, I would suggest it. You sort of go down a little bit, you're going to drop a bit more quality. You go a bit higher in price, you're probably not going to get too much more bang for your buck. So definitely the Moto G7 is an all-round good phone, and the camera is one of those all-round good features. And I recommend it. I'm a little bit harsh, I do recommend it. Moto fans, what do you think? Hit me up in the comments down below. Is the camera any good? What's your experience with it? Or do you have any questions about the Moto G7? Let me know. And I'm still working on my full review for the Moto G7. So stick around, hit the subscribe button, because you will get to see a lot more information on the Moto G7.